magic or magnet.
Hey, you! Get out of here! What the fuck are you?
Guys, make sure to clean up the mess before you knock off, okay?
Hello everyone, this is PK Entertainment and we are back again, and here now we have another video for you, and we're going to take a look back at the 80s crime actioner Raw Deal. Released on June 6th, 1986, it stars Arnold Schwarzenegger, Catherine Harold, Paul Shenar, Robert Davi, and it was directed by John Irvin. Now Raw Deal tells the story of FBI agent Harry Shannon, who wants revenge for his son's murder during an ambush by a mafia squad assigned to kill an FBI informant. Suspicious of gangster Luigi Petrovita being involved, Shannon convinces his friend and Sheriff John Kaminski to go undercover in an operation off the books to infiltrate Petrovita's organisation and find out who killed his son. After faking his own death at a chemical plant explosion, Kaminski takes on the identity of Joseph Brenner and works his way through the crime organisation, taking out anybody who gets in his way. Now when looking back on Raw Deal, it's very much of an average standard action drama. Whilst there's nothing truly exceptional in terms of the characters or action sequences, it's one of those movies that functions well enough to be watchable. We clearly understand who the characters are and the main plot, which is straightforward and moves along at a nice enough pace. It has all of the typical elements of 80s action cinema in terms of the car chases and shootouts, rock music, and for me it handles all of these elements well enough to be entertaining for the most part of the film. It was the continuation of the steady rise to superstardom for Arnold Schwarzenegger, who had already made a considerable impact earlier with both Conan the Barbarian and The Terminator, both of which are amongst the greatest movies of the 1980s. And Raw Deal was the attempt to build himself as much more of a contemporary action hero, and in the role of Kaminski it's very much of a mixed performance. When he tries to play it straight, he struggles to convince. At the beginning of the movie, which attempts to add some depth to the character, where we see him arguing with his wife who is an alcoholic, and she laments the fact that they lead such a boring life. We also learn that Kaminski previously worked for the FBI and was forced to resign after he beat up a suspect who murdered a young girl. It's when he takes on the role of Joseph Brenner that the film really gets going, and this is where we see the origins of the iconic Schwarzenegger personality with the confident swagger, all of the one-liners and puns, smoking the big cigars and beating down the bad guys. And this is when Schwarzenegger is far more confident, relaxed and watchable. And it's so much fun seeing him strut around imposing his presence, having constant back and forth with Robert Davi's Max Keller, who's always suspicious. And this is the big action hero presence that made Schwarzenegger so good to watch throughout the 80s, and it's typified in one of the movie's best scenes where prior to the climactic act, we see Kaminski arming up with all of the guns and weapons. We have the undeniable infectious stomping musical score playing in the background as he gets ready, and this sequence captures everything that was so great about the 80s in terms of action movies and what made them so iconic. We could also say the same for the film's climax, as Kaminski takes out all of the crew in a very Terminator-like fashion. It's so typical and deliberate, yet it's so awesome at the same time. Now, as mentioned before, it's good to see Robert Davi as Max Keller. He was always one of those underrated actors that never really got to shine in the scripts that he chose, and it's also good to see Paul Shenar as the underboss Paul Roker, who takes a liking to Joseph Brenner and welcomes him into the organisation. And of course we all know Paul Shenar far more memorably as Sosa from Scarface. And when talking of the movie's release, it wasn't really much of a success, only managing to gross $16.2 million within the US box office. And whilst myself, I'd always consider it very much of a mid-tier effort in a canon of Schwarzenegger movies, it still remains watchable overall, and I can always stick it on when there's nothing else to watch. So there's my overall thoughts and feelings and quick review of Raw Deal. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Where do you think it ranks within Schwarzenegger's library of movies? Do you have it right up there with the likes of Terminator and Predator, or do you think it's much more lower down the scale? Let me know in the comments. And also, if you'd like to see me review any other of Arnold Schwarzenegger films, then you can drop me a suggestion as well. And if you have any other movies or television series or any other issues within the entertainment industry that you'd like to see me cover, then also drop me a suggestion within the comments, and I will see if I can provide further commentary for you on those topics within the future. Please also hit and like the subscription and notification buttons so I can provide you with more high quality content like this in the future. But that's it for now. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you very, very soon.